Welcome back. So watch this surveillance video carefully. You might notice this man's hand concealing an object, possibly a knife. Moments later, he begins to viciously stab a woman until a very brave Samaritan appears out of nowhere to tackle him. It's only then that some other passengers move in to help restrain the attacker. But it was that split-second decision that stopped a potentially deadly assault. Now, that Good Samaritan, by the way, just so happens to be Sean Conboy, a camera operator who works for CBC. He was on that platform after finishing a 12-hour shift for us in Times Square. So let's get the story of that heroic act in a hectic moment straight from the source. Sean, hello to you. I guess I have two questions. One, how are you? Two, what the heck were you thinking?
I'm well, Andrew. Thank you. And thank you for asking. I'm just happy to be alive, and I'm even more fortunate that I was able to help somebody who was in severe distress and could have potentially lost her life as the result of a random act of violence.
Well, you know, I ask both questions in all seriousness because, I'm kind of curious to know, did you know something was off before it actually happened? I mean, walk me up to that moment.
I did. I noticed an individual who had been casing other people on the platform who were oblivious to him, lost in their cell phones and their devices. And he and I made eye contact, and it was a very low level of aggression, but it was yet something that made my alert level go up.
And obviously things immediately turned on a dime when that person started attacking a woman on the platform. Tell me about your decision to step in. I mean, that's a hell of an instinct, right?
It was the only thing to do. I had an unusual vantage point from where I was looking. I happened to be looking in the right direction. I saw her get yanked back violently from the edge of the platform. I saw a knife produced and swung in a circular arcing motion. It's unmistakable. That's a stabbing happening. And she screamed, and I ran toward it.
And at that point, you must be, I'm sure you're just in sort of fight or flight mode. You chose fight, obviously, or maybe you didn't choose it. It just happened. I mean, you must have been worried for your own safety at that point.
Not yet. My only concern at that moment was to incapacitate the attacker, to stop that attack from going any further. It wasn't until later that I was more concerned for my own safety.
I'm looking at you. I can see that physically you're okay, but I want to start with that first question again. Are you okay? And also, have you had a chance to speak with the victim in that attack?
Yeah, physically I'm fine. It's been an emotional drain, but I was very grateful to, in fact, get a chance to speak to the victim this morning. She called me, a local reporter here in New York, put us in touch, and that's a great relief to hear her voice. And she sounds well. She's traumatized, of course, but she's going to make a full recovery. And we plan to meet sometime next week at the grand jury testimony in the Supreme Court.
Sean, hell of a thing you did, but I'm sure she's glad you did it. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
Andrew, I would do it again if I had to.